Welcome to the RSI Trade of the Day. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. And today we're going to cover a couple different charts for you. So how this segment is going to work is normally I will go over the trade that was performed last time. So unfortunately, I didn't have a show on Monday, so I don't have a trade to go over from yesterday. However, going forward, I will always recap the trade, figure out what played out, what went right, what went wrong, see how we can improve on it. And then I'm going to also give you a couple different charts that I'm setting up or that are looking as if they were going to be good possible setups for either a swing trade or a day trade. And then I'm going to go with the trade of the day. And I've got an exciting one for you guys today, so please stay tuned to the end of the show. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys a chart of RCL. So normally I don't cover earnings. However, I just noticed this chart of RCL. So if you guys do anything with the relative strength index, I want you guys to know what negative RSI divergence is. And so negative RSI divergence is when you've got a high on the charts and price action keeps inching higher or could even go catastrophically higher with the relative strength index actually decreasing. So this is what's considered negative RSI divergence. And today RCL actually had earnings and this thing dropped about 6%, as you can see, 7% on the back of the earnings call. So this kind of just gives you an idea that, hey, here's what could happen on the back of earnings, or here's how the relative strength index is setting up. So here's some potential plays. So RCL would have been a great trade. However, you don't want to use RSI alone. You also want to make sure that you guys have some either support and resistance depending on where the RSI is at. And if you can see here on the RCI chart, you had this upsloping parallel channel that it was stuck at the upper end of this. And then you've got this hidden trend line right here that connects this pivot low. And you notice that this connected through this pivot low at 153 and then again at 167. So this was a lot of support when it was on the upper end, got below it. And now that it's below, this is going to be resistance, and you see what happened. It went back up into resistance, negative RSI divergence. This is a home run type of play. All right, so another chart that I'm looking at is NVDA. NVDA is kind of setting up kind of similarly. We've got a nice rising trend line that the price action is staying right above, but the RSI is starting to decrease negatively, which means that we're starting to develop some negative RSI divergence. It got up to 80 on the RSI, but now the last closing price with a higher price, lower RSI, it only got up to 73. So they're starting to become a little bit of a divergence in the NVIDIA chart. And actually, NVIDIA has earnings in a couple of days. So it would be interesting to see if the same type of situation happens with NVIDIA and with RCL. But this is looking like it's a great opportunity for a potential short. So for me, if I was going to get into NVIDIA for a short play, I would take it at $180 even number. Could it go up to $200? Yes, absolutely. But if you notice the chart, it's up 100% from the lows. I'm starting to develop some negative RSI divergence on the daily time frame, and it's chopping alongside of that upsloping trend line. So all these kind of favor an opportunity to short NVIDIA. All right. So that is one of the plays that I'm looking at. So if you notice, I'm going to go ahead and go to the intraday and switch on the extended trading hours. So it's actually up to about $179 today. It got close to 180, didn't quite get there yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually see if we have any additional trend lines. So just looking at the chart, it looks like we have an upper trend line that's connect these highs. So you've got this pivot high at $115. It kissed this level right here at 137. So we could actually move this trend line down a little bit. So it actually hits this $136 level, kissed it again right here. So you notice that there's a lot of resistance creating this nice wedge pattern on NVIDIA. So if we start pushing a little bit higher, 180, it could potentially break out to the upside. It wouldn't be an actual breakout just because of the fact that it's up so high, But if we start breaking this lower end, you could fill this gap at $167 and then ultimately could get down to $153. So NVIDIA is a strong chart. And so once it gets down to about 45 on the RSI, this would be a great opportunity to possibly swing it for a long trade. Okay, so another chart I was looking at as well. Coinbase is another chart that I'm seeing that's actually have been pretty strong lately. It got up to $444, and now it's in a little bit of a downtrend. It caught a little bit of support at this pivot top at 375, but notice what's happening with the RSI. Because this is a strong stock, once the RSI gets down to about the 40 or the 50, this could be an opportunity to go long as well. Let's say it gets down to $336 and the RSI is down below 50. If we're into some support, that is an opportunity to go long. And look at this. Not only do you have this gap fill right here, but you've got all this price action that will be support for the Coinbase chart. So that's another way that you can play the RSI. So the RSI isn't just great for, extended moves on the 70 or 80 or 85 or the low end where it's oversold at the 30 or the 20. It's actually really good for the mid levels. If you can get a strong stock that's playing really nicely with the RSI, it gives you an opportunity for that as well. And so again, Coinbase and NVIDIA are great opportunities to play the midline of the RSI as well. So keep that on your radar. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go into the trade of the day. The trade of the day is going to be SMCI. So look at this chart. This has been a vertical move lately. Went from $50 to $60, which is a pretty substantial move in just a couple of days. What I want to draw your attention to is this RSI on the daily time frame. I have all these trend lines. I'm going to go ahead and remove these for you guys. So here's what I love to see. RSI is a great indicator to show when something's oversold or overbought. Here we have the RSI, Relative Strength Index, on the daily time frame that starts from 85 and it chops back below, hits the 50, gets back above 70. And you notice that it chops above the 70, which means that a stock like this is really strong on the day. And what I want you to notice also is it never gets to the oversold condition. It gets pretty close to the 30, but as it does that, the price action is pretty muted. So it doesn't take a lot of price action for it to get closer to the 30. And then it gets back above the 70. Doesn't create any negative RSI divergence because this RSI isn't higher than this. But that's okay. But the price action isn't higher than this price action. So it doesn't create negative RSI divergence. But look at the price action on SMCI. So these are the types of charts that I absolutely love. This is great for a continuation play for the following day. So my trade of the day is going to be a short level. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a shortable level on SMCI. And the first shortable level would have been $61, but that was at pre-market highs. And so I anticipate SMCI heading back up to $62.43. So again, my trade of the day is shorting SMCI at $62.43 and looking for a 3 to 5% pullback. And again, one more time, 62.43 is my short level on SMCI. This is a great continuation play. You saw that there was strong relative strength in this particular stock the day before. That's what I love to look for in stocks that don't have earnings, that are just on news on the back of the fact that these got these AI data centers and stuff like that are coming into play. And so there could be potential orders for what SMCI has in stock. So again, that's my trade of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And please stay tuned. Gareth Soloway is going to be going live with the game plan in just under 5 minutes. So we'll see you guys there. All right, take care.